Right now, a stabbing on Madison's southwest side ends with a woman in police custody. What officers are saying about the incident. Plus, President Trump visits Saudi Arabia with a focus on business investment. A look at the trip so far and the latest pushback to reports he could be accepting a luxury jet from Qatar. This is News 3 Now at noon. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm Jalen Banks. Josh is off today. A woman is in custody after they say she stabbed a woman last night. Officers were called out to a parking lot on Atticus Way around 9:40. According to the report, a 52-year-old woman had stabbed a 40-year-old woman. Police say the women knew each other and were involved in a fight prior to the stabbing. The 40-year-old woman's injuries were not considered life-threatening. The 52-year-old faces charges of second degree, recklessly endangering safety, disorderly conduct, and resisting. The man accused of abducting a pregnant Beaver Dam teenager is now federally indicted in Arkansas. Gary Day is facing several charges, including transportation of a minor to engage in criminal sexual activity and production of child sexual abuse material. Day also faces state-level charges in both Wisconsin and Nebraska. He's accused of taking Sophia Franklin from her Wisconsin home in February and taking her across state lines. Day is scheduled to appear in an Arkansas courtroom on the 27th. His arraignment hearing for Wisconsin is set for June the 3rd. Right now, crews in Juneau County are working to find the cause of a fire that burned nearly 80 acres. That blaze has since been contained. Fire crews and the DNR spent yesterday evenings working to contain the fire. It led to the DNR to recommend about 40 households in the town of Mather to evacuate. This after the DNR had put out an alert urging people not to do any burning.
To check with the DNR on our information about fires and making sure that you know when or when you can't burn and checking with all that.
The fire did burn 80 acres, but no structures were damaged and no injuries have been reported. Turning to weather now, rainy start to the day. First Warning meteorologist Blaze Keller joins us now with a look at your certified most accurate forecast. Blaze, right before you left out, I saw you had the jacket on. Why'd you end up taking it off?
Yeah, well, you know, on Radar 3000, we'll see that here in a second. It does look like it could rain across southwestern parts of Madison, where the patio is. But we are dodging some showers across mainly Columbia as well as Sauk counties. We're beginning to see some showers pop up there in parts of Greene County as well. So we'll take it to where the heaviest showers are, the more widespread showers extending from Sauk City, Prairie du Sac, all the way north into Cambria, pretty much exclusively in Columbia County, but these showers are beginning to slide back westward into parts of Sauk County. So the Dells, we're going to be dealing with some rain here soon. Portage, we're dealing with that rain. Same with Baraboo as well. Shullsburg will eventually be dealing with some of that rain activity as well. More hit or miss showers further south into parts of Iowa, Lafayette, as well as Greene counties, extending from about Monticello south into Monroe. We find two more moderate showers and back near Mineral Point as well, and then south of Gratiot dealing with that rain activity too. We expected this. This is going to continue not only throughout the rest of the afternoon, but into your Wednesday as well, probably further west on Wednesday than where we're seeing that shower activity today. Tension, though, is still on Thursday, especially Thursday afternoon. Still keeping that alert day as a slight risk for severe weather is expected across parts of the News 3 Now coverage area. We're going to go more in depth about the severe weather threat Thursday afternoon, timing, threats, and all that coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, sounds good, Blaze. We'll see you in just a bit. President Trump is visiting Saudi Arabia, the first stop in his Middle East trip. There, he's focusing much of his attention on business. Natalie Brand has more details from the White House.
Saudi fighter jets escorted Air Force One as President Trump landed in Riyadh, where Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman in a 21-gun salute greeted him. At the royal court, the U.S. delegation with cabinet secretaries and advisor Elon Musk greeted Saudi officials. Then President Trump and the Crown Prince sat down for a private meeting focused on investment in the U.S.
Purchasing planes, you're purchasing a lot of different things, and I appreciate it. And you said, if you think 600 million, but the 600 million knowing you will be $1 trillion.
The two governments signed agreements on a number of topics, including defense, energy, and mineral resources. U.S. business leaders are also in Saudi Arabia representing finance and tech companies, including NVIDIA, BlackRock, and Uber. They're taking part in a U.S.-Saudi investment forum focused on topics such as AI, energy, and manufacturing. From Saudi Arabia, the president heads to Qatar, where he faces questions over reports the royal family plans to donate a jumbo jet for his use. Democratic leaders are pushing back against what they call an unethical offer.
I am announcing a hold on all DOJ political nominees until we get more answers.
Republican Senate Majority Leader John Thune also questioned the jet, saying there are lots of issues associated with the offer. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
The Constitution's Emoluments Clause restricts what gifts U.S. presidents can accept from foreign governments, requiring congressional consent. The plan is for the Qatari plane to eventually be turned over to the Trump Presidential Library. House Republicans unveiled their long-awaited tax plan. It includes some of President Donald Trump's campaign promises, scrapping federal taxes on tips, overtime pay, and car loan interest. The bill also calls on Congress to raise the debt limit for several more years. Congress needs to act before its August recess, or the country could technically default on its debt. Another part of the legislation would extend the president's tax cuts enacted in 2017. Most of those provisions are set to expire. One part of the bill still unresolved is the battle over state and local taxes. Some Republican members want to raise the current cap on deductions from $10,000 to $30,000 a year. Other GOP members want the cap even higher. Congressional Republican leaders say they want to deliver their budget bill to the president's desk by July 4th. Construction in Portage has left a bit of a maze for people to navigate. With the main road out of commission, locals have been going down side streets just to get around. Signs and social media posts are attempting to inform people where to reroute to avoid Wisconsin Street. The good news for businesses on the street, they all have back doors, and those doors have eliminated much of the need for people to use the main road.
It's going to be a challenge for a little while, but thankfully it's only a couple short months.
It's not going to last forever. We'll be fine. People will find us if we've done a good enough job.
The plan includes installing new utility lines before fully resurfacing the road. Portage and the DOT expect the project to be completed by mid-August. As the NFL prepares to reveal the full schedule for the upcoming season, we're already learning when the Packers will be playing some pretty big games. Today, we're learning that the Packers will host the Philadelphia Eagles for Monday Night Football on November 10th. Last season, the Eagles beat the Packers twice, first in Brazil and then later in the playoffs, which would eventually lead to the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. The full schedule will be revealed tomorrow at 7 p.m. And coming up after the break, the big hiring spree McDonald's is planning for this summer. Plus, how many people AAA is predicting will travel for the upcoming holiday weekend. Stay with us.
There's relief and new uncertainty from investors and business owners over the U.S. and China's 3-month tariff pause. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said both sides are lowering their tariffs by 115%, and China is also removing some other non-tariff trade barriers. Already canceled orders for goods from China helped account for a 21% drop in shipping activity in the last week of April. President Trump says he plans to speak to Chinese President Xi Jinping as soon as this week. Memorial Day is less than 2 weeks away, and AAA is predicting another record-breaking travel weekend. More than 45 million people are expected to trek at least 50 miles away from home. The bulk, a new high of 39 million, will hit the roads. Currently, average regular unleaded gas prices are down nearly 50 cents per gallon compared to this time last year, according to AAA. Airports are also expected to see a 2% jump in flyers over last Memorial Day. And McDonald's is planning a big hiring spree this summer. U.S. Labor Secretary Lori Chavez-DeRemer was there as the fast food giant announced that it wants to beef up its workforce by up to 375,000 employees. The company says new jobs will be permanent positions and that the uptick in hiring accounts for high turnover during summer months. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Jesse Mitchell.
Here's a look at the current stock numbers. The Dow is down 188. The Nasdaq is up another 53, and the S&P 500 is up 327 points. Our call for action volunteers are in the building, taking your consumer complaints and taking action on your behalf. You can call for action at 608-270-2833 or submit a claim anytime at channel3000.com/call-for-action. Up next, Pam has today's ag numbers, and Blaze is back with a check of your first warn forecast. And later on live at 4, a newly approved tool that could change the way we screen for cervical cancer. Dr. Jeff Potoff stops by to talk about how it works and what it means for you. Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. Let's check in now with Pam Yankee for your Midwest Farm Report. Pam, how's it going?
Not bad, Jalen. Thanks. Just came back from Lodi, got sprinkled on a little bit, but that's really kind of what the doctor ordered for a lot of our Wisconsin farmers now. Latest update from the Wisconsin Ag Statistical Service shows as of Sunday, not a lot of time wasted out in farm fields. Take a look at some of these numbers. According to the Wisconsin Ag Statistical Service, as of Sunday across the state, we had about 44% of our corn already in the ground, about 2 percentage points ahead of where we were last year. Of the corn that's planted, we already have 5% that's through the soil surface and starting to reach for the skies. Same progress on our soybeans, 40% of that crop's in the ground, 2% higher than last year at this time, and 5% of that crop also reaching for the sky. Nice progress on our oats. 23% of that crop's emerged, which you probably noticed if you were already out driving around the countryside. Potato producers have been doing very, very well. 75% of that crop's in the ground. I saw yesterday when I was up by Arlington, some folks have started to cut their first crop alfalfa. That's rated 75% good. That's a 7 percentage point increase in quality in 1 week's time. That's what the heat and the moisture are doing for both hay and wheat. We are going to have to keep an eye on what's going on as far as the moisture is concerned, though. Even this week, as far as crop progress updates were concerned, 17% of the topsoil was rated short across the state of Wisconsin, and 16% of that subsoil also called short. So the valuable sprinkles that we've been picking up around the Channel 3 viewing area so far today, very welcome. Although I did see a couple guys when I was coming back from Lodi that were sitting in the tractor with their planter, kind of waiting for it to pass over. So again, eternal optimists. They want to make sure that they're capitalizing on every spare moment when it comes to spring planting. Be careful if you're finding some of that large farm equipment again. Like I said, I saw a lot of planters, a lot of fertilizer tender trucks that were heading out to the field. Just be mindful that they can't stop as fast as you can, and they don't have quite as much, shall we say, movement flexibility as your vehicle might, so be careful. Pretty quiet on the dairy front today. No change on either barrel or block cheese. AA butter down 3/4 cent, $2.34 1/4 per pound. To be honest with you, Jalen, after all the commotion that the China-U.S. announcement brought to us in the Monday markets, today a lot of the commodities, especially our cattle market, just kind of trying to hold on and see what's going to shake out of these conversations before they make a drastic move one direction or another.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting, following all of these talks over the next few weeks.
Most definitely, most definitely.
All right, well, sounds good. Thank you, Pam. American Airlines is adding a nonstop flight from Madison to New York City. This service will complement Delta Airlines' existing daily trips to the Big Apple. Just within the last month, the Dane County Regional Airport announced other nonstop flights to major cities, and those include service to Los Angeles International Airport starting on May 21st. Dane County Regional now offers nonstop flights to 17 destinations around the country. The new service starts September the 3rd. And we may see some more rain later, unfortunately, but here's Blaze with a check of the forecast. Blaze.
We are looking at rain chances becoming more hit or miss, not only throughout the rest of Tuesday, but into Wednesday as well. Can't rule out an isolated thunderstorm, not expecting those to be severe either today or Wednesday. But that severe weather chance continues to look more promising on Thursday. We're still keeping that alert day as a low pressure system looks to move through parts of the Midwest, including the Wisconsin area, bringing us us not only that chance for severe weather, but some beneficial rain. So we've got a marginal risk in the green as well as a slight risk there in the yellow. But what does that mean in terms of, are we going to see a lot of storms or not? The green marginal is more or less isolated storm threat. Not everybody would see a severe thunderstorm. When you start to get into the yellow, that's where they become the chance for severe thunderstorms becomes more scattered. And then you get into the orange, which is numerous, the red, which is widespread, and then the pink is outbreak, an enhanced, a moderate, or a high risk. So we're on the lower end of this, isolated to scattered chance for severe thunderstorms as we head into your Thursday afternoon into the evening hours. This is more or less the setup that's going to be taking place across the Midwest if we look at it big picture wise. That center of low pressure is off to our north and west. We've got that cold front extending through parts of Minnesota, Iowa, even southwestern Wisconsin into Illinois. That warm front is going to be placing us in that warm sector of this low pressure system. So we're going to have a lot of the necessary ingredients for those scattered severe thunderstorms come Thursday afternoon. So again, we're going to start big picture, and then we're going to take it down to the county level. Let's start out Future Track Thursday morning. Some dying thunderstorms and some showers moving into the La Crosse area. We're going to hope to see more cloud cover if we don't want severe weather into the late morning, early afternoon. But if we see more of these clear conditions like Future Track is saying, and that's quite possible, we're going to only boost our chances for severe weather later Thursday afternoon. Here's that line of showers and thunderstorms developing. Strong winds and hail are going to be our main threats as we go into that 5, 6, 7 o'clock time frame. And these are going to be pushing off towards the northeast. So already we're out of that severe weather threat across southwestern parts of Wisconsin. That pushes off into the UP and into parts of Michigan by the time we go into that 10, 11 midnight hour going into Friday. So this is a very quick moving line of thunderstorms. So we started off big picture. Let's take it down to the county level. We're at Thursday, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That line of showers and thunderstorms beginning to develop off towards La Crosse, southeastern Minnesota, northeastern Iowa. We're going to watch to see that line extend its way north and eastward as we go into later parts of Thursday afternoon. Initially, some of these storms may be discrete, and that could pose a tornado threat as well as large hail, but that line is already starting to develop. So we're already beginning to move to that strong wind threat. Again, southwestern Wisconsin, we're out of that severe weather threat pretty much into the late afternoon. 6 o'clock, we're done with any severe weather threat. That continues to push off into Lake Michigan by about 9 o'clock. All of the News 3 Now coverage area, and that could happen as early as 8 o'clock. The severe weather threat has passed us. When we're looking at the chance for supercell thunderstorms, the ones that produce the large hail and the possibility of tornadoes, we still see pockets of a high chance. So we're going to keep an eye on that tornado threat, but really our main threats, as I mentioned, is going to be the strong winds as well as that hail. But we really can never truly rule out a tornado threat. So make sure you're staying with News 3 Now for the latest, not only throughout the day today, but also throughout Thursday as well. We will be seeing some rain showers Friday, but we're drying out for the upcoming weekend.
I'd like you to meet one of my favorites from the meat counter. You may have met before, but just in case you forgot, let me reintroduce you to the flank steak. What I love about a flank steak is how versatile and budget-friendly it is. And who doesn't like something that's flexible and that can save you a buck? So let me show you what to do with it. I start by combining some balsamic vinegar, olive oil, Dijon mustard, chopped fresh basil, a good amount of garlic, a tad of sugar, and a little salt and pepper in a plastic storage bag. We give that a good shake and set it aside while we score a flank steak by making diagonal cuts to both sides. You want them to be about 1/4 inch deep.
We thank you for joining us for News Now at noon. We'll see you back here for Live at 4.